can I title a video "Some CEOs Deserve It" and not like look crazy? Will that get me banned from some stuff? It was very much clickbaity, but I don't know if it's jailbaity too. Like, I don't want to end up in prison. There are certain words that when put together, you already know nothing good can come of it. And when you hear the word CEO millionaire tennis match, you already know something bad's about to happen. There was a CEO millionaire at a tennis match who, after the tennis match had finished, the tennis player was signing stuff, giving autographs, and signed his hat and wanted to give his hat to a kid that was standing there. But instead of the kid getting it, some grown adult man who was standing next to the kid snatches it away from him and turns and just completely ignores the kid as if nothing happened. With no hesitation. He didn't even look. He did the no-look snatch from a kid, dude. He did the no-look lollipop snatch. How evil do you need to be in your heart? How cursed as a human being do you have to be to snatch something away from a kid? And I say this, let me preface this by one time I also snatched something from a kid at a Gamescom. It was my first Gamescom. I didn't want to leave without getting anything from the Gamescom. So while on the way out, there was a random ass game called Crossout. Super indie, didn't matter now or ever. That game never mattered. And I was just standing there waiting because my brothers were out doing something else. And they started throwing out t-shirts and wristbands. And they threw a t-shirt. It fell near me on the floor. Behind it was a kid. I reached down and I took this shirt. To this day, I feel bad about it. To this day, that kind of hurts my heart. But in my defense, shortly before that, I saw his dad who was standing next to him. His dad also caught a t-shirt. So he had a shirt already. It was like 8 years ago. I myself was only like 19 years old. I don't know. But big difference. I am not a millionaire. I am not in my 40s, and I am not at a tennis match with a kid who probably loves this athlete, who's like a huge fan. I don't know Crossout. This kid don't know Crossout. We don't know what the fuck this game is. Imagine Michael Jordan signing, I don't know if this is the Michael Jordan of tennis. I don't know shit about tennis, but it doesn't matter who it is. This athlete wanted to do something good for this kid. You know the videos of kids getting happy that like they get a hockey stick from like their favorite hockey player or whatever? Kids love these things. As an adult, to take that joy away from a child, you are dead inside. You're like Willy Wonka in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, whose dad's just yelling at him and brutalizing him for eating a couple pieces of candy. That's probably happened to this dude when he was younger. His dad was like getting on his ass daily for, I don't know, liking flowers, and the dad would just stomp out the flowers all the time, which of course is very sad for a kid. I'm not saying two wrongs make a right, but obviously two wrongs don't make a right because he grew up to be just as much of an asshole as his father probably was. Dude, just shooting shots. His dad catching the collateral. What if his dad is like Saint Nick? His dad is like the OG Santa Claus, just giving kids joy constantly every year after year, and his kid just ended up being a bad apple. The perpetrator, he got found immediately. It did not take long at all. The internet can find anybody whenever they want to. You are not hidden. And especially if you're not a CEO of a company. The guy's name is Peter. It's a Polish name. He's a Polish dude, but the way that's written, his name is Peter. I know this because I had a coworker who was Polish who also had this name. It's pronounced Piotr, I think. We called him Pio. Peter Szczerek. He's the CEO of Drugbruck. I looked it up. Drugbruck is a landscaping or contracting, paving contractor. Do they do concrete? Bro, his company got fucking review bombed as shit. It's at 1.3 stars, 358 reviews. What are these people saying? Who want to do a business with somebody who steals from a child? The CEO stole a signed cap from a child in a tennis tournament on public television. Money hungry will overcharge you for work. He's actually talking about the work. Misrepresent costs and do whatever necessary to rip off as many people as possible. Sounds like something this guy would do. And these aren't just random people from all over the world. I've read that a lot of Polish people have also been review bombed, like locals. He got found, okay? He was held accountable. His company got review bombed. He was being DM'd and all this different stuff. And he actually responded. Now, if you are an asshole, and you were pointed out to be an asshole, most assholes will be like, I'm not an asshole, and try, to take that kind of card, try to defend it, justify their actions, whatever. This is a very unjustifiable action, obviously. There's nothing he could say. But he could be like, my kid is sick in bed at home, he's gonna die in 2 days, and he really wanted this cap. Sure, then maybe we could, give a little leeway. This dude, instead of doing that, he said, yeah, I got caught for being an asshole, but guess what? I'm an asshole, and assholes do asshole things. The recent incident at the tennis match has caused a disproportionate online uproar. Don't know if it's disproportionate, Brody. It's all about the famous hat, of course. Yes, I took it. Yes, I did it quickly, but as I've always said, life is first come, first served. The hat wasn't for you. You were literally second in the situation. You were next to where the hat was being given. I understand that some people might not like it, but please, let's not make a global scandal out of the hat. It's just a hat. Zero awareness. It's not that big of a deal. Who cares? He's thinking like an adult when it comes to a kid. If you were faster, talking to the kid directly, saying you. The kid's not reading this. I hope the parents didn't have the kid read this. If you were faster, you would have it. It is a child. Oh my God. You are a grown man saying that a child should be faster. I bet this dude plays Mario Kart with his little nieces and nephews and destroys them and then laughs at their face. I had to grow up with a little brother and parents who told me I had to let him win all the time. And me being somebody who's like, well, that's not fair. I'm very much for fairness. Like, if you win, you win. If you lose, you lose. lose. I had a hard time. I struggled with that until at some point I was like, okay, I'll let him win occasionally just to like not get him completely down, but I'm also not going to destroy him and make fun of him for losing. That's not what we're going to do here. We're going to make it a fair playing ground as far as I can, being a 16-year-old playing against a 10-year-old in chess. And then at some point, this dude became better than me at everything. So what does it matter? I feel like I did it correctly at the end of the day. Like, imagine I had like just destroyed him in everything. That would have killed his confidence, and he would have either became like an evil, very confident dude, or he would have just sucked at everything because he didn't feel like doing anything because he knew he was going to lose anyway. But imagine I had just let him win all the time, then he would have been overconfident in his abilities and become somebody who was just snarky confident and be really annoying. Now he's good at everything, and I did everything perfectly fine. Oh, I'm no better than a CEO. Regarding online hate, I remind you that insulting a public figure is subject to legal liability. Not only is he doubling down on being an asshole, now he's saying I'm also a rich asshole who will abuse the system to get you in trouble because I did something that could get me in trouble. Zero accountability. All offensive comments, slander, and insinuations will be analyzed for the possibility of taking the matter to court. Take me to court then, asshole. Take me to court, bitch. I'm not afraid of legal liability, bro. I don't got shit anyway. What are you gonna take? You're gonna take nothing from nothing? Which I guess this guy would. He took a hat from a little kid. He's gonna take nothing from somebody. I won't be the only person seeking legal liability, okay? What was it gonna do to me? Well, they might actually have consequences. But I'm just a random like low-life YouTuber. Like if this blows up, well, if this is the one to go viral and I get sued, every person who's watched this video is part of the process. If I get sued, everybody who's seen this video is also getting sued. You are all now included in this. And I think that will hold up in a law of court. I think that will. I am not certain. Everybody who has viewed this video, you are now liable in a court of law. If this guy sues me, this will also hold in court. Everybody who has ever been born is liable in this court case. That will also hold up in a court of law. And I doubt this guy will want to sue everybody on the planet. I think that's how that works. I'm not certain. I'm kind of a dumbass. But this dude doubled down on the asshole dumb. And it wasn't like CEOs and millionaires and stuff didn't already have a bad rep, bro. I mean, we saw what happened recently with a CEO. That was a person that was like in charge. And me, like, that also kind of left a bad depiction in my head because now when I see the word CEO, I automatically assume it's somebody like the guy who got Luigi'd. CEO is literally just somebody who owns a company. I actually technically know a few CEOs because they know like they own little companies. They don't count. I wouldn't put this guy in the same register as the Medicare dude or the Medicaid dude or whatever, like that guy who got popped. I wouldn't put him in the same register as that. It's not that deep. It's really not that intense. He's just a bad character. He's just a bad dude. And like a bad dude, like you see people like spitting on the street or throwing their trash on the floor or whatever. He's that kind of bad. Stealing stuff from a kid is really bad. It's really fucked up. Just a very mean-spirited thing to do. Should he not exist? That's a little much. Saying that the dude should just be wiped off the planet, I don't know about all that. I mean, he is an asshole. I don't think assholes should exist. But if they do, shit, nobody becomes an asshole if they weren't treated by an asshole at some point. Like I said, at some point in his life, this dude's dad was a huge piece of shit. Or maybe this guy's mom. I think a bad father figure leads to violence. A bad mother figure leads to poor empathy. And this dude obviously has no connection to children or understanding that you should probably just let them be happy sometimes. So I'm guessing more that his mom was a piece of shit. And his mom either just wasn't there or was just horrible to this guy. Can he sue me for all of this? Can his mom sue me? You know what? I'm suing his mom. I'm suing his mom because what is called emotional distress. Seeing her son be an asshole gave me emotional distress. I'm stressed out. What's that song? I'm stressed out. Don't call me dad. Is that the song? I don't think that's the song. Whatever. I mean, all of Twitter is talking about, he has to pick and choose who he's going to sue. He's not going to sue everybody. The first tweet I read, Polish CEO Piotr Szczerek is I can't see those words. Can I beep it? I'm just going to beep it. But then you know if I beep it that I said it. Okay, there's also liable in a court of law. I'm going to use a beep, but just as a placement. I didn't actually say the word, okay? Polish CEO Piotr Szczerek is a scumbag loser who deserves savage mockery for his attitudes about snatching the hat away from a child. Sue me, you shitty human. He invited it too. This guy's just all around a piece of shit. Everybody's saying he's a piece of shit. He wants to sue people. And what are you going to sue them under the basis of, hey, they called me a piece of shit? And the judge is like, well, you were kind of being a piece of shit. And he's like, yeah, but they said I was. Okay. That's what happens. And I feel like as a CEO, you're more susceptible to having that mentality because as a CEO, being held accountable is like impossible. I felt this way when I was working at my last job because the CEOs of that job were just completely, word I can't say, they were just dumb as hell. They didn't know what the hell they were doing with the business. I mean, they built one and then was running, but at the same time, it's like people work here, bro. They were IT guys, so they didn't understand that there was a difference between 0 and 1s and actual human beings. And then I got my first review as a manager and I was told like these different things, giving critique. And luckily my direct boss was a really cool dude. So he was extremely, like, it was very, very constructive criticism. He was really good at analyzing that and then talking about it and giving it to you. But me, I'm thinking like, okay, I'm getting this review by my higher up. Does the higher up ever get reviews by the lower downs? Is that what they're called? Lower downs? Does the higher ups ever get reviewed by the employees? When do the CEOs get reviews? Are CEOs kind of like dictators where you can't say anything against them or else it will impact you negatively? I feel like that happens in most cases. Dude, say something bad about your boss on Instagram and you're fired. Or if you're not fired, he's gonna make your life hell to the point where you want to quit. People are way too emotional, especially people all the way up, because they're just surrounded by yes men, and they're not even yes men. They just don't have any no men around them. Dude, if this CEO, I know for a fact, bro, he's a horrible boss. If he's snatching hats from babies, he's treating his employees like shit. They probably don't get any sort of medical leave. They don't get any extra pay. They don't get any holiday bonuses, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Any of those things are possible. None of his employees have probably ever said, hey guy, you're a piece of shit. And him be like, oh, maybe I am, and think about it. No, just forever people have been having to deal with his behavior and his stance towards all these situations and how he deals with people and stuff. And never anybody has said, hey guy, you're kind of an asshole. You should probably stop being an asshole. And now you have a situation where he's shown to be an asshole in front of everybody, not just his handful of employees. Everybody on the planet is capable of seeing this guy be an asshole. And they're also saying, hey guy, you're an asshole. And his response is, you are not allowed to say that, because his thing isn't, I was being an asshole. He didn't say I was being an asshole. His thing was like, well, that's what life is. Life is assholedom. Life is consistent of assholes and assholes doing asshole things. And I'm just gonna be one of those assholes. And now he's saying, and if you call me an asshole for it, then you're in trouble. I'm gonna sue you. What? At least be confident in your assholery. Don't try to hide that you're an asshole. Can I get demonetized for saying asshole that much? At least hold your ground and being a piece of shit. If you're already going as far as to say like, yeah, I did what I did and I don't have any problem with it, at least be ready to be like, okay, if you call me an asshole, then sure, I'm an asshole. At least be snobby about it. Like, at least be mug about it. Like, at least, like, you know, be confident, buck up, say it with your chest if you're gonna do it. Don't do the pompous, like, privileged, such a privileged position, dude, of just somebody who was never in trouble and never had to deal with the consequences of his actions. Just being like, yeah, okay, these are the consequences of my actions, but I'll try to stop that from happening. Instead of changing my actions and looking back or apologize for my actions or just standing up for my actions, you're not allowed to point out, which that may be the worst kind of person, being 100% aware that you are an asshole, but not facing the fact that just being okay and being an asshole, dude, what's wrong with you? But luckily to say, this guy may be an asshole, but the universe isn't, because the kid got contacted by the athlete and was actually given a signed hat and like a bunch of other goodies. So he had like he very much profited out of the situation. Like, it sucked for that moment, but then, and this is a great learning lesson for the kid. This asshole situation could have easily turned the kid into also being an asshole. But now, because the universe kind of balanced it out, you know, it's kind of like the Star Wars, the Force always balancing out the dark side type of situation. He got balanced out. This gigantic assholery got balanced out of the positivity of the kid getting what he wanted in the end and more. And getting just shown that his idol is everything who he imagined to be. Just reassuring that, because meeting your idols and them being assholes is like one of the worst things ever. Like, it's so heartbreaking to find out the person you held in such high regard and you possibly took as like a role model for how you want to live your life. If you find out that they're an asshole, that ruins you, because it's not like, it's not only this person that I held in high regard is kind of a mean person, but it's like, am I also a mean person or going to become a mean person because I followed that person? So it has you kind of doubting in yourself. The universe decided to balance out when it came to the kid and gave him possibly a future that will include one less asshole in our lives.